No, this is not clickbait. I really wish I could tell you guys, gotcha, I'm lying, we're really getting a chapter this week. But unfortunately, I cannot tell you guys that without lying, because Murata himself has confirmed that we will not be getting another chapter of the One Punch Man manga until October 20th. So today I kind of wanted to talk about exactly why this next chapter is being delayed and why I think personally it might actually be a good thing. But before I get into that, if you guys enjoy One Punch Man and One Punch Man related content, then stop where you're at, unless you're driving, and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I post One Punch Man content multiple times a week, talking about various One Punch Man theories, have general discussions like this, and also do chapter reviews where I do pride myself in being probably one of the first YouTubers to get a chapter review out for One Punch Man once a chapter drops. So you definitely want to have notifications on so you can be the first person to know as soon as a chapter is released. But alright, let's get into the rest of the video. So the other day I was scrolling through the One Punch Man subreddit as I usually do, and I stumbled across a specific post by FerdZ0. And really quick, FerdZ0 is amazing on the One Punch Man subreddit. He always updates us with Murata's daily manga updates on Twitter, which gives us a good indication of, whether or not a chapter is going to be pretty long, seeing as how, depending on how many pages he worked on that week, we might know that the next chapter might be like 50 or 60 pages, or if he's working on other projects. Like the past week and a half, he's been doing a lot of volume 27 work and also work that's kind of geared towards getting ready for the anime. And this is where I kind of started speculating that we might be getting some sort of redraw for the upcoming chapter instead of getting a new chapter, because it seemed like every single day the past, I think 2 weeks, Murata was updating us with new work that he's done on volume 27. And like I said, with also making preparations for the anime. When normally when he's working on a chapter that's coming out on the regular, every 2 week schedule, he usually updates us with something like meeting today's quota and getting, maybe 10 pages done or something like that, or 5 pages, depending on the bulk of the chapter itself. Well, seeing as how he's doing a ton of volume 27 work, which was something that he was also doing when we were getting all those insane amount of redraws during the Monster Association arc, like all those redrawn parts of the Child Emperor versus Phoenix Man fight and, different things like that. So I guess I was kind of at peace with the idea that, okay, we might not be getting a new chapter, but, maybe we'll get a redraw or some kind of addition to one of the chapters that are going to be included in volume 27. That might be something that's, interesting to talk about, or might shed some new light on minor details that, might have been overlooked or something like that. But just the other day, Murata tweeted out that he will not be updating the manga until October 20th, meaning that these next couple weeks and the past few weeks have been solely dedicated to working on volume 27 and preparing material for the upcoming anime. And although it might be a super big bummer that we won't be getting a new chapter 172 of the manga this week, I guess we can kind of look at the silver lining of all this and, think okay, at least, there's something getting done to create new One Punch Man content. We at least know that Murata is very much involved with the process of getting the anime going, which is always a great sign because as we've seen with a lot of Murata's color panels and animated panels, like in the Saitama versus Garo fight, Murata really has an eye for directing these kinds of things. And he also has his own minor animations that he's done himself. So I very much think that Murata has a lot to offer to whichever anime studio is going to make this season 3 anime. And I feel more at peace with the fact that both One and Murata have their hands in this, because to this point, I don't have any reason to doubt their ability to provide fan service to please the people that are actually reading this manga, because it definitely seems like they kind of have an ear to the ground and a good pulse on the One Punch Man community. So I guess that's a nice little thing you can take away from this. And aside from that, I'm assuming that working on volume 27 is a lot less, grueling and time consuming than creating a whole nother chapter. So hopefully this is giving Murata some more much needed rest, because we truly were blessed and spoiled with how Murata was straight up grinding out the chapters every 2 weeks during the latter part of the Monster Association arc, really trying to get it finished and really getting it right with some amazing artwork and taking that 1 month hiatus that he very much deserved. And he also deserves this break, which I really hope that he is getting some extra downtime, even though he might be working on volume 27 and stuff for the new anime season. And taking a look at some of the comments on Ferdzie Zero's post, I think that a lot of people in the community very much agree with this idea, because we see one with Cicadas and Siegel saying he can take all the time he needs, he deserves every second. I very much agree with that. Murata is a very talented artist, and as we know, a lot of mangakas are overworked and develop illnesses and health issues later down the line because of all that overworking that they were doing in their earlier careers. And that's definitely something I don't want to see happening with Murata. I want to make sure that he's healthy, that he's happy, that he's enjoying what he's doing, so he can provide us with the same high quality work that we know him for, and so he can live a long, happy life, obviously. Now, even though he said that we won't be getting a new chapter until October 20th, I am pretty curious to see if that does or does not rule out the possibility of us getting some redraws in the meantime. Like in those 2 weeks that we are waiting for the next chapter, there's a possibility that we get like 1, maybe 2 redraws for the chapters that are included in volume 27, which to my understanding would pretty much cover the beginning portion of Tatsumaki versus Psychos, where Psychos actually fuses with Orochi and becomes that gigantic merged form that we see her transform into, which I think is kind of exciting to see, because, you know, if we do get a redraw where stuff gets added to it versus, you know, things getting taken away, we might get some more in-depth God information, because I do very much believe that God had some kind of influence with the Sairochi transformation. I don't think that there was any way that they could have gotten that powerful by merging. But then again, I could be wrong, but it does definitely leave the door open to the possibility of us getting some more God nuggets thrown in there or something, you know? But yeah, I really did see something like this coming. I assumed with all the updates from Murata that we're kind of talking about updates to the volumes versus pages that he's done that day. I kind of figured we were going to get some kind of redraw or something like that, but it's nice for Murata to tell us himself that, you know, there's a specific date where a new chapter is going to drop. And like one of these Redditors said very well, it's time to activate our serious waiting move, which is totally fine by me. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this additional 2-week break coming before we get the next chapter of One Punch Man. I'm really curious to see what, you know, your guys' thoughts are. But don't worry, just because we're not getting a new chapter for a couple weeks doesn't mean that you'll be seeing less content for One Punch Man on this channel. I'll still be here posting multiple times a week, every week, talking about various One Punch Man topics. So if you're going to be fiending for some One Punch Man content in between now and the next chapter, then you definitely want to be subscribed so you can get your fill until then. For example, right after this, you can watch the video you see on your screen right now, where I re-rank every member of the S-Class based on the events that happen in the Monster Association arc. And I will say right now that the top 6 is pretty spicy in my opinion, so you definitely want to check that one out and see if you agree with me with these new S-Class hero rankings. But that does it for today, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.